Hello. This is Truth Be Told Podcast. I'm your host, Britt. Today we got a good one for you guys. Thank you for joining me. This is episode number 44. We calling this Excuses with DC Chambers, which is the host of What the Shit podcast. How you doing today, DC?
I'm good. What's going on, people? What the business is?
It's good. It's Sunday fun day. How you doing? What do you have going on? I know you have a lot going on. I want to thank you for coming on the show today. I know that it's the start of a new week, so we're always trying to prepare for the week and get our agenda going. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I got a whole lot. Actually, other than podcast stuff, I really got a whole lot nothing going on. I quit my job because they was trying to play me, but I already had one lined up. So they thought there was. It's a long story. They thought they was gonna get a real one.
I know that's right. You know your worth. How about that?
Yeah. See, I was gonna give them. See, I normally don't give people like a job 2 weeks notice because they don't never give you 2 week notice before they fire you. They just be like,
right.
Hey,
They just let
you just finish your shift. Why don't you never come back again? So there's that. So I walked in because they had fired. The only reason I was gonna stay was my boss. And I was like, I give you 2 weeks to train and everything like that before I dip. I ain't gonna leave y'all like that. Well, they fired my boss this Thursday.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh, so the only reason I was gonna stay, y'all fired. I'm out. I gave them the keys to their truck and I left.
Oh man.
I had people calling me like, man, you really quit? And I was like, yeah, like they not about to play me and have me slaving. And they fired the only reason I was staying. Like they don't get that. I don't respect them like that. So I normalize leaving the job without a notice because they're gonna fire you. So
it's funny you said that. I'm glad I'm talking to you today. I got laid off at the beginning of September, and like you said, they let me finish my shift.
Mm-hmm. They always gonna let you finish your shift.
Oh yeah, they let me finish most of my shift, and then because of how they did it, they let me go. It was a lot of us they let go that day. But I want to publicly thank them for letting me go because it's just been blessings since I've left them. So, it's funny how God uses things that you think are so devastating at the time to break you, but it's really shaping you and giving you some type of clarity on what He wants you to do next.
Yeah. I see it as that, and I also see it as these jobs don't care. People who work 40 years for the same company, and then like I was a woman at Walmart. Not to get too far off subject, she was working for Walmart for 30 years. You know, do you think they gave her some kind of plaque or a gold Rolex or $5,000 bonus or something? They gave her a pack of M&Ms and a $100 gift card.
Oh wow!
And told her to get your ass back to work. Shut up. Like
I believe it.
That's why I'm like, man, these jobs don't care. So that's why I've been seeing a renaissance of people doing their own thing, and it's beautiful. But like you said, it is a blessing because it gives you that clarity, but it also gives you that moment to like reassess what you got going on in life and what's important and what's not important.
You're right about that. So tell us more about DC, what you got going on there, and how you came up with the name of your podcast, What the Shit podcast.
It's actually a part of me. It's something I usually had said every day of my life since I was able to cuss. If something don't make sense to me, that's what I say. I'll say, what the shit? And so it just happened to be something that was near and dear to me because it was one of my favorite sayings. But no, it started 2 years ago during the pandemic. The show did. I don't know how deep into this you want to get, but my dad had passed away. I was in school for radio, TV, and radio broadcasting. No, thank you. It's been 2 years, so I'm kind of past it. Plus, I hate to say it was it pushed me. His death really pushed me and it motivated me. So I started podcasting with a friend on his show. A couple months later, I was like, you know what? I got my own thing I want to do. I'm going to start a show. And when I did it, people looked at me and was like, I don't think that's the move. I don't think you want to do that. And I was like, well, yes, I do. And the more people told me I shouldn't is the more reason why I did it. And 2 years later, those same people is now some of my biggest supporters behind the scenes. They don't want to tell nobody that they love me, but they do.
I love it. I love it. I love how you stepped out there and you showed the people and yourself, not so much the people, but yourself that
That's
you're
what it was, because
capable.
I didn't think I could host. Like I'm cool. I was on my dude's show, still there, until the end of this month. Then I'm going um strictly on my show and events. I'm not doing no more co-hosting nobody's show. Stepping out to the spotlight. But no,
Right.
it was eye opening for me because I didn't know if I could do it, but I was like people telling me I couldn't, so I was like, forget it, I got to now because I didn't talk so much mess about it and made the big
Well,
fuss. Like, so I was like, I think I can I think I can host my show. And not gonna lie, at first it was rough. The first 6 months of doing it, not knowing how to be a host, not knowing anything about it, production, none of that stuff. But lost sleep learning and growing and perfecting my craft. So now 2 years later, I have a lot of people that realize when I started up until now, and they see the change, and I feel the change. Like I feel like a whole different person from now when I started. Like it's night and day. Like I'm telling you, if you see me when I first started, that shit was rough.
well, I like that you are telling your story because I'm new to podcasting. I just started. It'll be a year in January.
Mm,
So, thank you for sharing that because that shows me, that okay, I stepped out there, did this podcast challenge. Shout out to David Shan. Shout out to Sean because I was in those type of communities that push me. Okay, just step out there. And when you're doing something for a reason, for a purpose, instead of just doing, because I was like, I'm just gonna be me. Like I don't
mm-hmm.
have everything I want, and I'm very particular about getting stuff and doing it the way I want it to be. Like I'm gonna do it and slowly do it and just show it where I'm at right now. So thank you for sharing that.
I share my story because everything I've accomplished in 2 years, I want people to know that they can do it too. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I didn't do anything. I was just me. I spoke my truth. I still do. And I grind as hard as anybody on earth. I don't think there's nobody that outworks me. There might be people who have more resources or more, backing than me, but they don't
Right.
outwork me. I lose sleep over this. I'm up till 3, 4 in the morning thinking about how to get better. I'm always researching. I'm always looking at different things and seeing what might fit the show and how it can benefit me and other people. And like it's a testament. Like, I mean, I tell my story so people be after me don't think like, what I'm saying, I got it out, what I'm saying, I got it out the mud. I jumped
Right.
out the porch and was like, fuck, I'm just gonna do it. And then however it starts working, and if it ain't working, I'm gonna find a way to fix it.
I
I lose
know.
sleep over it. So
That's right. I love that. I love how you show the grit. It's all about not just the talent, but the perseverance behind that
mhm.
because you can't do one without the other,
No.
And I love that you're showing that through the podcast. So I appreciate you. So that's a great way to go into this segment today. We are talking about excuses, excuses. As you see, DC, What the Shit podcast has told you there are no excuses. There
Ain't no
are
days
no
off neither.
excuses. We are really in a time where where there's so much information that is free to you. You can go to
Hmm.
any city and there's a free public library. I know because anytime I go somewhere, that's one thing I'm big on. I'm still a nerd. I still read books. And when my computer's down or something ain't right, I'll go to that library in a
Hmm.
minute.
My favorite is YouTube University. I don't think people realize the power of YouTube. There are so many
Yes.
things I've learned on YouTube. I implement in my podcast today. And I'll be up there. That's why sometimes I don't sleep because I'm up on YouTube till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning
No, you
watching
must have a shout
videos.
out to YouTube because
Yeah.
you really just put it in the nail. Like YouTube shows you how to do anything. You want to know how to do hair. You want to know how to cook. You want to know how to do a podcast. I mean, it
Making
shows you.
promo videos. Like I did a Marvel, my fifth season, I did a Marvel style opening for
Oh
my show. I
wow.
learned how to do it on YouTube,
Oh
step by
wow.
step. It came out amazing, but it was like, I was like, okay, I want to do this. So if you have an idea, it's on YouTube, I guarantee you. You might not know how to phrase it to put it in there,
Right.
but it's on YouTube and it'll teach you. You know what I'm saying? Step by step. You just got to be able to put in the work and retain the information and just put it in, you know what I'm saying? Put it into action.
I love that. I love how you put it in that, step by step. But tell us a little bit more when we talk about excuses. Today everybody has some type of excuse as to why they don't do or what type of thing they don't do or this, and that. It really makes me think of victim mentality. When you think of a victim mentality, what is the first thing that comes to mind to you?
They always have an excuse. I mean, like I even tell my son this. Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one. Nobody wants to see him a hero. Like, and for me, that's always been my biggest thing. Like, nobody cares if I'm tired. Nobody cares if you're upset. It's results driven world. So if you're not performing, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care why you're not performing. When you're performing, they still don't really care. But then they act like they care because you're performing. But it's all about, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, everybody has a problem, some kind of setback, you know what I mean? But it's up to you to fix that, whatever that might be.
No, I love that. I love you saying that because I had to really check my own shit, still checking me, learning, okay, especially with this layoff. Like, I was like, okay, Brittany, like, you're upset because of you just moved. You paid all this money to move. The company did not move you. So you did this. You and your husband did this. And it's like, damn, really, this is really not the best time for y'all to be letting me go. In my head, that's how I was thinking. But then I started like checking me, DC, because I was like, really, Brittany, you just been treading water in this particular role. You was not happy. You haven't been happy in mortgage in years. I kind of just took it because I was like, shoot, the bread there. But then it showed me too. I was like, okay, I'm tired of the up and down. I done been laid off twice, and I really want to do something else. And so it just made me realize that, okay, Brittany, get out your own phone. How did you realize, or do you still play that role, or do you know people that still play that role, and how do you deal with those type of people?
I don't, as much as possible. Like, I try to be respectful and realize that people have real life and real things go on. But then I have to realize that I have real life and real things going on, and them same people don't care. So if you don't care about what I got going on, I'm sorry. Life moves on and everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to pivot, especially in the podcast game. I mean, you have people who say they care about you one day, and you know what I'm saying, the next day they switch up on you and working with somebody who they was like, I'll never work with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they'll want you to support their stuff, but they won't support your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what I mean? It's just those weird things that I've learned that it's just a part of the game. And once you realize that you're not, it's inevitable. I'm going to be black, I'm going to pay taxes, I'm going to die. It's inevitable. Those things are going to happen. Everything in between that I can control, I will try to control up until a certain point to where I know it's out of my control and it's just going to happen. For those people, you just have to realize that life is gonna life. I mean, like I said, it's just things happen. You know what I mean? You gotta try to put yourself in those people's shoes, but at the same time, I understand that some people. I made a post today. People want to see. I want to see people win, but there's some people you have to learn to love at a distance and support from a distance. That's always been big to me because you start seeing people who are there for you,
right?
But they're only there for you when you're up.
Right.
When you're down, nobody likes celebrating with a loser.
Oh,
I used to coach sports, so you win a game, everybody's there. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's partying. When you lose, it's about 3 people in that room. And them the 3 people that you need to realize when you lose, who's in that room. Them the people you need to focus on when you up.
I really learned that a long time ago. I learned that when I lost my dad. That's why I was relating to what you said. You said you're over it, but you really never get over it.
I'm not over it. No, I'm never gonna be over it because when I got my new job, I was kind of sad because I know when I posted on Facebook, my daddy's usually the first person like, "Hey son, let me hold $1."
Right.
Or he'll call me like, "I see you got a new job, son. Come, let me hold some money, son." Big money bags. He would call me every time.
Right.
And then, and a lot of these milestones I've hit, I get sad because yes, my mom celebrates it with me. She'll call me, but my dad was one of my. He's it kind of sucks sometimes because I'm like, damn, if I could just hear my dad's voice to give me guidance, or
Right.
if I can just hear, he's proud of me. I can hear it in my head, because I can replay the memories, but it's not the same as the real thing,
Oh
So
yeah.
so sometimes it gets rough,
Yeah.
and I'm the oldest of 7,
Oh wow.
and then 5. My dad had 5 kids, so we still talk, but it's kind of like we all are in our own different
Doing your own
spaces
thing.
on. Yeah, that, and where we were at with our dad, because I have 2 brothers who were twins. They lived with him, so they were kind of
Okay.
there, you know. And then me and my other brother, we went down there, when we had to, because we had to pull the plug on him, take him
Right.
off life
Wow.
support. Um,
Woo.
but that's another hard decision. Like, so when people tell me, like, oh, things are rough, this and that, I'm like, dog, I had to put my dad off life support. Like,
Right.
that's the hardest decision I've ever made in my life.
Right. Right.
Um, but I also had to realize, one, that's what he would have wanted, because there's
Mhm.
no life being a vegetable, and two, my dad wouldn't want us to be sad. He would want us to,
No.
persevere and move on. So, you know, environment makes you tough, but life experience makes you soft, if that makes
Oh.
sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. It's funny because a lot of things that my dad told me are still unfolding. He died in 2008, and I still have my days where I want to hear his voice. I used to
Hmm.
have his voicemail. I used to listen to it all the time.
I,
Um,
I have one for my brother. He left my brother a message, and because I'm good with audio, I was able to cut it to make it sound like he was telling us all he loved them. So every now and then,
so,
I'll play that message when I get down or it's late, and I'll be like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I'll play that message from my dad, and hear his voice, and in the back of my mind, it's like he's telling me, your ass better not give up. Just because I'm not here don't mean I can't come with. Because my dad was a big dude,
right.
about 6'5",
Oh, yeah, he was a big dude.
three something. You know what I'm saying? I'm about 6'2", 6'3". So we, what I'm saying, bears. But my
Hmm.
dad would be on that. Like, I don't care how old you get, boy, I'll still whoop you. I'm like, all right, old man. But that, you know what I'm saying? Just those interactions sometimes fuel me.
Hmm.
Besides family, it's those type of things that fuel me to, like, I can't give up. I have people that there's no excuses I can give them to, what I mean? So that's why I don't really subscribe to excuses. Like, they're cool for a little bit, but after a while, no one cares.
Oh, no one cares. I really realized that, every trial and tribulation, it's peaks and valleys. Things go up and down. Relationships go on. People move on. Kids get older. They leave the
Mm-hmm.
house and they have their own families. And so I remember my dad used to tell me that all the time. He said, baby, when I'm gone, the bill's going to keep coming. And I
Yeah.
laughed because when he was gone, it was a bill in his name. I laughed because it's like I said, it's stuff he tells me still, told me that still unfolded, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing like people are too involved or should be too involved in their own shit to worry about. And I'm not gonna say you're not supposed to worry about other people. You are.
No, because sometimes I feel the same way, and I tell people the same thing. I'm like, somebody acts like cats I used to grow up with. We used to go to the club 10 years. We kicked it. Now I couldn't tell you what half of them is doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it ain't because, I don't care about them. It's just I have my own shit.
Right.
They have
Everybody.
their own shit. Life is life, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's one of my favorite sayings. A friend of mine who, great person, Brandy Blocker, she told me that. Like, we exchange voice messages every now and then. She does. I'm working on an event, so she's my event planner, but she's also kind of my spiritual sister.
Right.
Because we started out hating each other.
Right.
Like, because we both were a co-host on the show. They were actually both leaving. But she already left. Because she had stuff to do, like So she told me that, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like that just sounds goofy. It sounds like some cheese that you get at a Walmart on a T-shirt. But then it started making sense. Like there's a guy who I went to his wedding. I didn't know he was getting married. Two, I didn't know he had like 2 more kids than the last time I seen him. That's what I'm saying, or 3 more. You know what I'm saying? That's just
The
how.
tea came out at the wedding.
Yeah, because I didn't see. I'm saying? It was his wedding too. That's what's crazy. I'm saying? I just got invited, so I was like, oh yeah, that's my homie. Showed up. There's like 3 more kids. I'm like, wait, I knew he had one. There's like, you ain't know he had. I'm like, no, nigga. Right. Evidently, I'm here. On a shot.
Right.
But that just goes to show how life is just, it moves on. Sometimes you grow apart from people.
It does. And no, you was gonna say you don't take it personal. No. I don't anyway, because I feel like something you said earlier. Only thing that you can really do is control what's around you, your surroundings, your attitude, develop your skills, work on the relationships that are close to you, because we all have been down and out. You can't say, it don't matter how much money you make, it don't matter what you got going on. Everybody has had that moment. And you can always remember who the people were that were around you. And I know to this day, the things I've been through, losing my grandma, losing my dad, walking my daughter through cancer, and still having moments, I realized, okay, at the end of the day, like my dad told me, ain't nobody going to be in here with your brother and your sisters anyway. So that's really, I'm thankful that I have that relationship, that I have that strong relationship with my siblings. And I'm thankful that I have my husband and my kids, because like I said, you have to worry about your village.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I said, I'm not even mad that we don't even talk like we used to, because once you start losing some of them common denominators that you guys think you have, like we used to party, kick it, girls and all this and that. I got married. Right. I started focus on working, what I'm saying? And now I'm focusing on making this it. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have time to reminisce about, football games back in 2002. You know what I mean? I don't have time to reminisce about hanging out with old girl back in the club 2012. I'm trying to make the most of right now. So
and it's funny you said that, because like I told you earlier, I had to check my damn self, because even in my relationship with my husband, as far as excuses and what I'm gonna tolerate, what I'm not gonna tolerate, I had to realize what type of man I was dealing with, what type of man I married. I'm still learning that, because
it takes time.
Oh God!
Like me and my wife, I know the fuck out of her. I'm not even gonna lie. Just my personality, I'm in the middle of being both introvert and extrovert. I'm kind of in the middle, so there's sometimes I can be far. There's no really. It's either I'm far on one side, far on the other side, or I'm kind of in between. But there's no like, hey, he's this woman. It's just, and I'm annoying as fuck. That's why I do what I do, because I run my mouth all day long. Sometimes to the detriment of my own sleeping, because sometimes I have to sleep on the couch because I done said some shit I probably shouldn't have said. But just being real, I have no filter, so I try to measure my words so I don't end up on the couch at night. But I mean, some people, it's a lifetime. People think you're gonna get to know your wife or your husband in 1 year or 2 years. Nah, like I've been married since 2015. I don't know how to do math right now. I would tell you how many years that is, but we've been married for a while. We still learning each other.
How long were y'all together before you got married?
About 2 years, off and on.
Okay, see, that's good. See, tell your wife she
maybe about a year. Yeah, okay. I was stupid. It probably would have been sooner had I not been, still out here in these streets. But everything happens for a reason. When we first met, I wasn't ready. Right. Didn't appreciate, her personality as it is. I was still trying to chase some hood rat skirts. You know what I'm saying? I was.
I mean, at least you're being honest. At least she knows. At least you waited or whatever. You get what I'm saying? It's still learning. Y'all are still learning. Me and my husband, we were actually together for a long time before we got married. I think I was thinking about it because we're coming up on 3 years, but we've really been together 11 years. And I was like, wow, like he wasn't even supposed to be my husband. We was just kicking it, like to be honest with you. Yeah, like we always say that, like how we met, how it came into play. It wasn't supposed to be like that, and it kind of just.
I mean, like I said, you can't control what you can't control.
Right.
You
right.
know, I forget how the quote goes, but there's people that come in your life for days, months, years, seasons, and reasons. You know what I mean? So I don't never when I meet somebody. Here's my thing: I don't never judge anybody off of first meeting. Mm-hmm. I don't never be like have any preconceived notions. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. It's up to you to show me who you are. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. I'm not gonna try to play detective or none of that like that, because you're going to show me who you are eventually. Right. You might be fake in the beginning, but eventually it's going to reveal itself, So always. I don't get mad at people when they show me their real selves and it wasn't who I thought they was. It just, because it makes sense to me. After a while, I'd be like, yeah, you wasn't really down. But it's cool because I gave you a chance. Yeah, I can't say I didn't, and you can't say I didn't.
Right. So at least like you said, it was an experience that you could not give no excuse to know what type of person you was dealing with because they showed their face. But
everybody do.
If there's anything that I can ask you to say to the audience today, as far as excuses that sometimes we can make, and I love how you broke down victim mentality and how that plays a role in. Sometimes you have to check your damn self to realize, okay, what you're dealing with. What is something that you could say to the audience today?
One, don't be hard on yourself. I realize that I'm my worst critic. There's nothing nobody can say to me outside of me that's gonna make me feel bad about what I do. Cause I know how worst. Like if I do something on the show and I don't like it, I'm out. Some people be like, "Oh man, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it." I'm like, nah. Not that I'm a perfectionist. It's just that I don't really like making mistakes. Even though you're supposed to learn from those mistakes.
Right.
I'm hard on myself. If I don't like something, I'll redo it. If I do a promo, some people might think it's cool. I send my promos to people who are not on the show, who are not a part of podcasting, so to say, to get their outside opinion. Because, podcasters are going to tell each other, yeah, it looks good. Send it out. And some of them people doing it because they know it's shit and they want you to send it out so you look stupid.
Right.
And then you have some people who are just, they down with you and they on your team, so they not going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to say yes, man, but, anything you do looks like gold to them because, they love you and want to see you win. So it's like, yeah, that looks great. Octopus, monkey shit, whatever that is, man, send it out, man. It's fucking amazing. So I'll be weird with those people. So I send it to my wife. And I'll send it to.
She's gonna tell you the truth.
Oh, my wife will kill me if something looks stupid. No, yes and no, because I want her to love it, but when she don't, I be like, all right, well, at least I know she's telling me the truth. This shit sucks. Right. I knew it. And sometimes I already know it sucks, but I want a second opinion. Mm-hmm. I have two females, my wife and then my friend. Calling her a friend, it seems so hard. And if she ever sees this, she gonna know. Anyway, like I said, we have a brother-sister relationship. When we first started out, we was like oil and water, but now we're like brother and sister who I can't return this sister, even I wanted to, but it's sickening, the relationship we have. But anywho, so I send it to those people because I know they're gonna keep it real with me and be honest and tell me what it really is. If they don't like it, they're gonna tell me. But they're also gonna give me constructive criticism. That's the thing.
Right. That's important.
You can tell somebody it sucks, but tell them why or how they can fix it. Mm-hmm. But as far as excuses, like just realize that people are going to give you one, no matter what.
Yeah.
You're going to give yourself one. You're going to give yourself an excuse on why you can't go to the gym, on why you can't do your show tonight, on why you can't do all these things. But then you have to really just sit down and be like, is that a real reason? Because some people don't have real reasons. They just have goofy excuses, like just to psych themselves out. So once you
Right.
get past, if it's a real legitimate, like, oh, I broke my leg, I can't go to the gym, cool. But if it's, I got a hangnail, I don't know if I want to go to the gym, that's an excuse. Once
Okay.
you got to push past those excuses, because if not, you're not going to get anything done.
I love it. I love that. I always want to leave with a great takeaway. Hold yourself accountable for your own shit. That's what I get from
Yeah.
DC today.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I love that. Like, we in 2022, we are in a era of information, and just learn from your mistakes and stop excuses and be gracious to yourself. And before we go today, DC, let them know where they can find you at on social media.
This is starting to become my favorite part because I get to say this first. You can find me on Pandora.
Hey,
Not too many people I know can say that, so I get to say that
no,
shit. I'm on
right.
Pandora, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify. Shout out to Opulence Radio, marketing partner Biz Boost, Paramount Pictures. They're one of our sponsors. We do sponsored movie giveaways on the show sometimes, so bunch of movies. I'm not about to name all them fucking production companies. Spotify, iHeart, you know what I'm saying? Any streaming platform, we pretty much on all of them. Shout out to Good Pods. We were just number 3 in entertainment news. Number 7 in entertainment news, number 3 in indie music interviews and music interviews overall out of top 100. So that was huge. Because the month before that, because the month before that, we was like 12, and 17. So people be like, oh, you only show up when you're good. I show all my shit. If we at the top of the charts, I'll show you. If we at the bottom, I'll show you, because I don't want nobody thinking like, our shit's perfect. It fluctuates. Some good, some months, some good or bad. But I like to keep it real with the people who are, supporting and watching and listening, so they know that this is genuine. I'm not up here, just trying to show you perfect. Because then you'll think I can't fail. And then when I do, they be like, well, no, the nigga was always 3. What happened?
I love it. I love it. Congrats to everything.
You.
Showing people that you're supposed to fail anyway to succeed. That's what it's about anyway. Letting go that ego and that pride. Yeah, and definitely not giving excuses. So I love that. So before we go today, DC, I like to end with like maybe 1 or 2 random questions today. Like I said, I know today is Sunday Fun Day. So I'm gonna not take up no more of your time. The first one I got, my baby gave to me. She was like, Mama, you gotta switch it up. I was like, okay, well, whatever. It says, I'm tall when I'm young and short when I'm old. What am I?
Wait, say that one more time.
I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
Wow. Damn. That Benjamin Button? I don't know. That one's a
candle.
Oh, I was gonna say a candle, but I didn't. Okay.
Okay, and the next one is, what has a neck but no head?
Shit. Kanye West's career?
Hey, that's a good one. That's a really good one, but it's close. It's a white tee.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I can dig it.
Yeah, I had to switch them up today. And the last one, what would you prefer? A glass of tequila or
tequila?
Okay.
Tequila. Matter of fact, shout out my favorite tequila. I'm trying to work my way on getting sponsored, but Tijuana by the Rocks, my favorite tequila. It's all I drink. I don't have a lifetime supply. I got 1 bottle left, and I'm about to drink some of that later on. Well, half of that. I'm trying to conserve it, but no, I drink tequila. I don't even know what was the other option, just to give it a chance.
No, it doesn't even matter, because I was gonna say a glass of wine. I already know you're gonna say.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do wine. My wife tried to get me to do wine every now and then, but I feel so pretentious drinking wine. Like, I'm a nigga from the hood. We don't drink wine, except for like Carlos Rossi and Wild Alice Rose. That was the only wines we was partaking in back in the day. So every now and then I'll get one, but then I feel like an old white dude named Jim. Like, oh, this is the stocks and the bonds.
I try to drink wine, but I'm really like just a hood country little girl. I'm not even hood, but it's the country girl come out of me. I like beer. I love beer. And that's probably why my stomach and my fupa won't go nowhere. But I love beer. So, and I'll drink a glass of tequila here and there. But yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Hey, but thank you so much for coming on the show today, guys. Please go like, share, and subscribe to both of our podcasts. We are on Instagram, and DC done told you so many platforms he's on. Please share and
just matter of fact, just all of them. If you type in what the shit, just Google what the shit, and I guarantee you, Amazon
DC
Music,
all
of it. We everywhere. Took me a while to get there, but we everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, DC. We signing out with episode number 44. Excuses with Truth Be Told podcast. You guys have a good evening.
Peace.
Yay!